Did they teach you how to think?
Научили ли как да мислите в училище?
No. Yeah. So that means our teachers have failed us. Our schools have failed
Това
us.
означава, че училището и нашите учители не са се справили добре.
Now to think doesn't mean memorization, doesn't mean you just retain some data and you spit it out when the exam comes and then you try to forget it, the moment after.
Да мислиш не означава да запомниш някакви данни, които да можеш да кажеш, когато те изпитват и след това веднага да ги забравиш.
Anyone who's in education knows that memorization is the lowest level of learning. Okay? You can write that down. Memorization is the lowest form of learning. You can train a parrot, you can train a monkey, you can train a horse. They can memorize stuff, Banana, stick, banana, stick, banana, stick. Oh yeah, I get it.
Всички, които са в сферата на образованието, знаят, че да запаметяваш, да не изостяваш е най-ниската форма, началната форма на учение, на образование. И това може да го учиш папагали на това нещо или дори маймуни.
Do you know the banana stick methodology?
Знаете ли за банана?
Knut and Prenik, right? That always works. But with humans, it doesn't really work that great because humans at some point they will say, why? What are you trying to do here?
Но с хората това не работи толкова добре, защото хората в един момент ще го питат, защо го правим това нещо?
You know that moment when you start asking why?
Знаете ли до този момент, в който почвате да питате защо?
You remember, right?
Спомняте си, нали?
Why am I here? Why am I going to school?
Защо съм тук? Защо трябва да ходя на училище?
Why is stuff not working the way I planned it?
Защо нещата не работят както очаквам?
I was just in Miami, Florida, and I met a lady and she was yelling at her phone.
Аз бях току-що в Майами и в Флорида и там срещнах една дама, която си гледаше, крещеше по телефона.
Have you ever met somebody who was yelling at their phone?
Виждали ли сте някой, който крещи по телефона?
Have you ever yelled at your phone?
А вие някой път крещяли сте вие по телефона?
No. You don't do that here in Bulgaria, right?
Bulgaria там добре.
People here are very peaceful. Very nice. Right. So I had two choices. I had choice A. Now we're going to have a little vote here, okay?
Нека да гласуваме сега.
Is Bulgaria still a democracy?
България все още е демокрация.
Sorta? Kinda? So. I travel a lot, I was just in Central America and all these places.
Аз пътувам доста, току-що бях в Централна Америка.
Have you heard of Tiraspol, Transnistria? I was just there. Moldavia, Romania. So anyway, okay. Choice number A, avoid her.
Първият избор беше да пренебрегна, да игнорирам.
Choice number B, talk to her.
И избор Б, да говоря с нея.
Now, who would, number A, avoid a person who is screaming and yelling at the phone?
Кой би избегнал тази личност, която крещи по телефона?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 21. Okay.
20 души.
Choice B, talk to her.
Вторият да говориш с нея. Колко бих говорил с нея?
It's about 13 people. Who abstains?
Около 13 души. Кой се въздържа от гласуване?
Okay. Who is neutral?
Кой е неутрален?
No one's neutral. Not even the Swiss are neutral. Okay.
Дори швейцарците не са неутрални.
Of course I talk to her.
Разбира се, аз говорих с нея.
I'm a hockey player.
Аз съм хокей.
I love confrontation.
Аз обичам да се конфронтирам.
So I walked up to her and I asked her,
осъзната ли си или си безумна? Неосъзната.
are you conscious or are you out of your mind?
Сега осъзната.
And she said, I am so angry, I could scream and yell at the whole world.
Тя ми каза, аз съм толкова ядосна, че сега мога да крещя на целия свят.
But keep talking, it's working.
Но продължавай да говориш, това работи.
So we had a little heart-to-heart. We shared our heart. And sharing your mind, sharing your heart, you know, same thing. The mind, the heart, it's quite close.
И ние малко си поговорихме, споделихме някакви неща от сърце на сърце. Сърцето и ума са много близки.
And I told the lady that, have you noticed how most of the people and most of the situations in this world are outside of our control?
И аз се питах, забелязва ли си как повечето от нещата в този свят, повечето от ситуациите са извън нашия контрол?
Have you noticed?
Вие забелязвали ли сте?
Do you like control?
Обичате ли да контролирате?
Who here likes control?
Кой обича да контролира?
Okay, if you don't like control, then please come up here and do a song and a dance right here in front of everybody.
Ако не обичате да контролирате, тогава веднага елате тук и изпейте една песен и изтанцуйте един танц.
But the way how we respond to people and to situations is always under our control.
Но начинът, по който ние отговаряме на хората и на ситуациите, е винаги в нашия контрол.
She started to smile.
И тя започна да се усмихва.
I get it, I get it.
Разбирам.
I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Разбирам какво се опитваш да ми кажеш.
I'm going to go home now and read these books, how to deal with my mind in a better way.
И сега ще почна да чета тези книги, как да се държа с ума си по по-добър начин.
Do you ever get obsessed with something that you think that without this working out, I can't live, you know, like this has to work out. I'm obsessed with this.
Случва ли се толкова да се вживеете в нещо, че да си мислите, че без това нещо аз не мога да оцелея?
I went to Asunción, Paraguay.
Аз бях в Асунсион в Парагвай.
To visit my old friend who I went to school with, 42 years ago.
Видях един приятел, с който бяхме заедно в училище преди повече от 40 години.
So we were invited to the University of Asunción, Paraguay, to do a talk.
И бяхме поканени в университета в Асунсион в Парагвай да дадем лекция.
So we went there prepared with instruments, with books, with food. We were armed to our teeth.
И ние бяхме въоръжени до зъби с нашите музикални инструменти, с нашите книги, с храна.
But we couldn't find the hall.
Но ние не успяхме да намерим залата.
And nobody was there to tell us where the place was. So we were running around for more than half an hour just looking where is the hall.
Никой не можеше да ни каже къде е тая зала и половин час обикаляхме, се чудехме, търсихме.
Till one lady was walking by and she said, today no classes, today no lectures, today is project day. The students are showing their projects on the central plaza of the university.
Като срещахме една дама и тя ни каза, днес няма лекции, днес е ден за проекти, студентите показват своите проекти на един площад.
And my mind was saying, I don't like this, I don't like this.
И моя ум ми казаше, аз това не ми харесва, това не ми харесва изобщо.
You know that situation when your mind tells you, I don't like this?
Случва ли се това умът ми да ви казва, аз не го харесвам това, това не ми харесва.
I came prepared here to give a class, a talk to some educated, to some intelligent people.
Аз се бях подготвен да дам лекция на образовани, интелигентни хора.
And this lady says, no.
Тази дама казва, не.
It's not going to happen.
Няма да се случи.
So, but she said, you can go to the plaza where all the students are, and you just put a table, and you put your books and your food there, and you talk to the people, and you do what you wanted to do, just there, on the plaza.
Но тя ми каза, просто иди на тази плаза, на тази площад, сложи си масата с книгите, с храната и направи това, като си планира да направиш, просто говори с хората.
My mind wasn't happy.
Умът ми не беше щастлив.
So I just went for a walk, blow off some steam, just kind of, like processing. Processing? Yeah. You just have to kind of reshuffle your deck.
И аз просто отидох на разходка, за да мога малко да смеля тази ситуация.
But then I thought, all right, okay, plan A didn't work, maybe plan B works, let's go there, let's see, let's check it out.
И си казах, добре, план А не проработи, може би план Б ще проработи. Нека да отида да видя какво ще случи на това.
So we went to the plaza and there was a bunch of good-looking, strong students and they had set up tables where they showed their project. Now this wasn't like a university where they study law and medicine and finance. They did forestry, fishery, agriculture. It was more what you call a trade school. People learn jobs.
И отидох там и видях, че има няколко добре сложени студенти, които подготвиха своите презентации. Това не беше някакъв университет по право или нещо такова. Това беше Място, където се учеше за рибарство, агрономия, обработка на земя и така нататък.
So they had tables with avocado, with lemons, with with honey, all different products that they had made, and they were standing around, and we set up our booth with books and vegan burgers, and we started to sing and share the food.
И те имаха там техните неща, авокадо, лимони. Ние сложихме просто нашата маса с нашите вегански сандвичи и започнахме да пеем.
And all the students started coming over and checking out what we were doing, and they were eating, and we were talking, and they're taking books.
И всички студенти почнаха да идват, да гледат какво се случва, почнаха да си говорят с нас, да си купуват книги, да ядат сандвичите.
And at the end, I had to conclude
И накрая аз трябваше да заключа,
that this was the best lecture that I never gave.
че това беше най-добрата лекция, която аз никога не дадох.
So let us pause for a while and understand in terms of hermeneutics.
Нека сега да се спрем за малко и да се опитаме да разберем от гледна точка на херменевтика.
What is the mind?
Какво е умът?
Like, this is a microphone, this is a harmonium, this is a table, this is a chair.
Това е стол.
We have a certain idea, right, what these things are. But if we were to ask anybody, what is the mind?
Ако питаш който и да е какво е ума.
Okay, I'm going to hand out blank sheets of paper here and tell you 500 words on what is the mind.
Празни листове с хартия и ще ви питам 500 думи, обяснете какво е ума.
You remember those moments in school? When the teacher starts handing out blank sheets of paper? And you go like, man, I knew it. I knew it. We had an exam. Oh no, I forgot about it. Ooh. You know those moments, right? No, you don't. You spared yourself that. Okay, so what is the mind?
Какво е ума?
You would get some very interesting answers.
Ще получите някои много интересни отговори.
Try it out as a mind exercise. Go on the street and ask people, what is the mind?
Идете на улицата и питайте хората какво е ума.
Now, there's different ways how to ascertain information.
Как можеш да установиш някаква информация?
Did you ever meet people who were educated in the University of YouTube?
Срещали сте хора, които са се образовали, дипломирали от университета YouTube?
Have you heard of the University of YouTube?
Чували сте за университета YouTube?
Have you heard of the University of TikTok, the University of Facebook, the University of Instagram?
TikTok, Facebook или Instagram?
Now, what do these companies do?
Какво правят тези компании?
Take your mind.
Взимат парите.
Take your mind and take your money, right?
Те взимат ума и парите.
They're not tools to make friends meet friends and give information.
Да получиш информация.
What do they do?
Какво всъщност те правят?
I was just 6 years in California, in the Bay Area, dealing with minds, setting up mindfulness student clubs for meditation because the students are going crazy.
6 години бях в Сан Франциско, където се занимавах с такива семинари за ума, защото студентите там обезумяват.
And I was based in Mountain View, which is Google Town. Then you have Cupertino, which is Apple Town. Then you have Palo Alto, which is Facebook Town. You have San Jose, which is PayPal Town. So every town is owned by one of those big corporations. And we're not saying this for our sponsors. We're just saying this for, for facts.
И аз бях постановен в едно от тези места, което е известно като Apple там.
So what are they doing, these companies?
Какво правят тези компании?
They're selling advertisement.
Те продават реклами.
They're selling advertisement and they're selling information. What information? Your information. They're selling your information to other people who pay money to buy your information so they can sell you stuff.
купуват тази информация, за да могат на вас да ви продават неща, стоки.
Okay, there's different ways how to ascertain information. You can ask Google, you can ask social media, you can ask a bunch of people on the street, but you'll get a whole range of different types of answers.
Как можеш да установиш някакъв факт? Можеш да питаш Google, социалните медии или някакви хора на улицата.
Any answer that comes from humans has got 4 defects, got 4 flaws.
И отговорът, който идва от хората, има по дефиниция 4 дефекта.
Have you ever been distracted?
Случва ли се да се разсеете?
Have you ever not been distracted?
Случва ли се да не се разсейвате?
No, right? It's really hard.
Това наистина е много трудно.
We were out there today on the street talking to people,
Ние бяхме днес на улицата,
I had one question to them.
говорейки с хората, и аз им задавах един въпрос.
Have you mastered the mind?
Вие покорили ли сте ума?
Have you mastered your ego?
Покорили ли сте вашето его?
And people just like, are you for real?
И хората бяха...
Like, are you really asking me this? Yeah, I'm asking. I just did.
Да, наистина те питам, аз току-що те
It's
питам.
not rhetorical.
Това не е риторичен въпрос.
Now, Krishna in the Gita, he says, which is the main yoga text from the Vedas, he says that to control the mind is more difficult than to control the raging wind. Did you see the wind today? I mean, for you, it's an everyday thing, right? It's pretty nice. It's pretty awesome wind that you got here.
В Бхагавад Гита Кришна казва, Бхагавад Гита е основният йога текст от Ведите. Кришна казва, че да контролираш ума е все едно да се опитваш да контролираш, да спреш бурния вятър. Както днес. Усетихте ли вятъра днес?
Our human condition has 4 flaws. One is we have imperfect senses. I can't see what's beyond this wall. I have about 45 to 60% vision out of 360. The rest I can't perceive, and I can't really look very far because I don't have X-ray vision. So I'm very limited in my faculties.
Едно от недостатъците на човешкото тяло е, че ние имаме ограничено зрение и ние не можем да видим, например, какво има зад тази стена и нашия обсек на виждане е много ограничен.
Sometimes we make mistakes.
Друго, че понякога допускаме грешки.
To err is human. Has it happened to you?
Да, грешиш е човешко. Това случило ли се? Грешиш.
Then sometimes we're under illusion. We're just like a little confused. I travel a lot. Sometimes I wake up, I don't know where I am.
Понякога се намираме под илюзия. Ние не знаем какво точно се случва. Аз пътувам много и понякога се събуждам през нощта и не знам точно къде се намирам.
I flew from Calcutta to Mumbai, to London Heathrow, to Dallas Fort Worth, to Santiago de Chile, to Punta Arenas, which is in Patagonia, Tierra del Fuego, the end of the world or the beginning of the world, depending on how you see it. You take the boat from there to Antarctica, a 2-day trip, all in one go. And I get to immigration in Chile, and the guy asks me, where do you come from? And I go, That is a very good question. So if you want to buy time and somebody asks you something, just say, this is a very good question. And in this way, you buy a few seconds, you know, and you can start thinking, where do I come from? Where do I come from? Where did I come from?
Аз толкова много пътувах, тръгнах от Калката, стигнах чак до Патагония и на границата ме питаха, откъде идваш в Чили? И аз казах, това е много добър въпрос. Ако не знаете какво да отговорите понякога, може да си спечелите малко време, като кажете, това е много добър въпрос, какво ще мислите.
So sometimes we're under illusion. And number 4, not to forget.
И 4, да не забравяме.
Sometimes we have the tendency to cheat.
И понякога ние имаме склонността да мамим.
Have you noticed how many cars are parked in the wrong places?
Забелязали сте колко много коли са паркирани на неправилни места?
Now I know it's not your car.
Сега, знаем, това не е твоята кола.
But it can happen, right?
Но може да се случи, нали?
Right? We sometimes have this human flaw that we try to adjust things in order for our favor.
Понякога имаме тази човешка черта, че се опитваме да нагодим нещата в наша полза.
So because as humans we're flawed with these 4 defects, no matter what microscope, telescope, or supercomputer we create with our limited faculties, they will also be flawed with the same 4 defects. And the ones who interpret that data will also be flawed with the same mistakes. So that's why the empiric way to ascertain truth is flawed. It's not perfect.
И каквито и, понеже има тези недостатъци, каквито и микроскопи и различни уреди да построим и да използваме, те ще бъдат несъвършени и също датата, която ние интерпретираме, това също ще бъде, интерпретацията на тези данни също ще бъдат несъвършени.
Another way how to ascertain knowledge, which is the descending path, that you have traditional knowledge, traditional wisdom, which gets handed down all the way back through the teachers to the source, Krishna, which is the source of everything, or God, the divine teacher. And that is perfect knowledge.
Друг начин да получим знание е нисходящия процес на получаване на знание, когато ние получаваме знание от съвършения източник Кришна, Върховния Бог, и това знание е съвършено.
So what is the mind?
И какво е ума?
Krishna explains that the mind is the sense within.
Кришна обяснява, че умът е сетивото вътре.
We see through our eyes, we taste through our tongue, we smell through our nose, we hear through our ears, we touch with our skin.
Ние виждаме с очите си, чуваме с ушите си, усещаме с нашата кожа.
And the mind is the summum, is the combined essence of all of these senses. It's like the clearinghouse who receives all these sensory inputs and is processing it with the help of the intelligence to ascertain what? I like, I don't like. I like, I don't like. This is nice, this is not so nice.
А умът е средището, където информацията от всички сетива се възприема, обработва се и с помощта на интелигентността ние установяваме това ми харесва, това не ми харесва.
So in the hierarchy of the body, the mind is above the senses. You can control your body with your mind.
В иерархията на тялото, умът е по-висш от сетивата. Вие може да контролирате сетивата си чрез вашия ум.
Like I can tell my hand, punch this guy here, you know? And then the hand does it. The hand doesn't do it on its own. It has to get some signal, has to get some direction from somewhere. That's the mind.
Аз мога да кажа на моята ръка, удари този човек. Тя не го прави това нещо от само себе си, тя е контролирана от ума.
So you can control the body with the mind, but the mind, what if you have a problem with the mind? What if you can't think straight because you're too distracted or you get too much information overload, you know? Like you've just successfully scrolled your way through the galaxy. I know you don't do this here in Bulgaria, right? People don't scroll, right? You don't do social media and all that stuff, right? You're just going to the beach and you watch the birds and you sing and dance, right? No, but sometimes it happens. People actually start doom scrolling, just like till there's nothing to scroll anymore, you know? And then they're like, what am I doing here?
I forgot where we started.
How many of you speak English? How many of you need translation? Okay, we keep this going. For you, free English class. For all the others, free lesson in patience, okay? Free gift for all of you. So, then, when your mind is not functioning properly...
Okay, I remember. Ние може да контролираме тялото си с ума си, обаче какво се случва, когато има проблеми с ума? Понякога хората си скролват на социалните медии толкова много, че в един момент няма вече какво да скролват и не знаят къде се намират, почват да обезумяват от толкова много скролване.
You know the saying mind over matter?
Чували ли сте умът по-висш от материята?
So you can control matter with the mind.
Може да контролирате материята с ума.
But you can't control the mind with the mind.
Но не може да контролирате ума с ума.
Because a problem is never solved on the level of the problem. You need help from a higher level, and that's the intelligence.
Имате нужда от помощ от по-високо ниво и това е интелигентността.
But that means my intelligence has to be fortified, has to be trained, has to be sharp.
Но това означава, че моята интелигентност трябва да бъде обучена, трябва да бъде укрепена, да бъде силна.
That means I can't be educated in university of whatever we mentioned, but I have to actually get knowledge from a proper source, proper information, that I know what is what, so I can ascertain the facts of life.
Това не може да бъде постигнато просто като отидеш в този университет, в социалните медии, а трябва да получиш истинско знание по правилен начин, от правилния източник и да разбереш какво всъщност се случва и кое е какво е.
But higher than the intelligence is the false ego.
Но по-висше от интелигентността е фалшивото его.
It's our idea of who we think we
Това е
are.
нашата идея за това, кои сме ние.
If you'd ask anybody, who are you?
Ако питаш който иде, кой си ти,
They would tell you their nationality, they would tell you their gender,
тяхната националност, техния пол,
they would tell you their job,
тяхната
they
работа,
would tell you
професия,
where they live,
къде
their
живеят,
economic status.
тяхното икономическо положение.
But that's not who you are.
Но това не е кой си ти.
Those are labels. Those are like labels, like tags that you have on your
Това
clothes.
са етикетчета, като тези, които имате на вашите дрехи.
You can change your nationality, you can change your gender, you can change your economic, your political status. All those are variables.
Всичко това варира.
That's identification.
Това е идентификация.
But identity, who I truly am, that's a different thing. That's a different ballgame.
Кой всъщност съм аз, това е нещо различно.
Who am I?
Кой съм аз?
I'm the soul.
Аз съм душата.
I'm the life force.
Жизнената сила.
I'm the eternal being that's
Вечното същество.
That's communicating now to you through the eyes, through sound,
с вас,
through gesture, through emotions.
Емоции, жестове, звук.
That's the soul.
Това е душа.
Did you learn about the soul in school?
Учили ли сте за душата в училище?
If you did, you're lucky.
Ако сте, вие сте много големи късметли.
Did you know that you're eternal, you're wise, and you're actually blissful, you're actually happy? That's our inherent nature.
Знаете ли, че нашата естествена природа е, че сме вечни, блажени и имаме съвършено знание.
If you forget everything about this talk, which you probably will once you get out there and you check your messages, you will forget 98.9% of this talk.
Ако забравите всичко за тази лекция, което вероятно ще се случи, като излезете навън и си проверите телефоните, ще забравите може би 98% от това, което сте чули.
But if you just remember these
Но
things,
забравите тези неща.
I'm eternal,
Аз съм
I'm
вечен,
wise,
аз
and I'm
съм мъдър,
happy.
аз съм
I'm blessed.
щастлив, блажен.
Then no one can touch you.
Никой не може да ви докосне.
You're invincible.
Вие сте неуязвими.
Would you like to be a superhero?
Бихте ли искали да бъдете супергерой?
Who likes to be a superhero?
Кой иска да бъде супергерой?
In California, everybody will go, yeah!
В
But here in
Калифорния,
Bulgaria, right, everybody goes, I like you guys.
харесвам ви. Аз ви харесвам.
You're not trying to make new friends too fast. I like that.
Вие не се опитате да се сприятелявате прекалено бързо. Аз
You
харесвам.
keep it a little more cool. I like that.
Вие сте малко по-кул. Това ми харесва.
It's good. It's good. So, Krishna responds to Arjuna's question about how to control the mind, and he says, it's possible to master your mind.
Кришна отговаря на въпроса на Арджуна как да контролираме ума си и му казва, възможно е да овладееш ума.
In two ways. Number one, you need regular practice.
По два начина. Първият е имаш нужда от редовна практика, упражнение.
Have you noticed that if you have a regular practice, a daily ritual, that your mind starts to like it?
Забелязали сте, че ако имате такъв всекидневен ритуал и рутина, че умът в един момент започва да го харесва.
Anything.
Каквото и да е.
Brushing your teeth.
Да си измиеш зъбите.
Do you brush your teeth? Do you use dental floss? Huh? I love those notifications. If you got your notifications on and you don't know how to turn it off, you can also take a bucket of water and you put your phone in there and it will be quiet, okay? So anyway, about that. Okay, are you using dental floss? Okay, this is mental floss, okay? So when your mind goes crazy, you can use the mantra and you can use your rosary or you can use any type of beads and you chant mantras and you can control your mind by sound. Have you noticed how that sound was attracting our attention? And you got a whole bunch of other ones, you know, there's like a whole bunch of funny ones. And all of a sudden you give a class and some phone goes off and some grown-up person jumps up and runs out to answer a call. Have you noticed? You have noticed, right? How did we ever give up our freedom and hand it over to these little machines, you know? So, now let's have a little bit of humor here. Do you do jokes in Bulgaria or not so much?
Шегувате ли се в България или не много?
A little bit, okay. So I go online. I want to book a flight because, you know, I'm a monk. I don't have a secretary. I don't have a sponsor. I got to do my own stuff. So I have to write my own talks, my own jokes, you know. I don't even write them. I just open my mouth and see what comes out. So I go online. I want to book a flight. And the computer asks me, are you human?
Отивам онлайн да си купя билет и компютъра ме пита, ти човек ли си?
I go like, this is really funny.
И аз казвам, това наистина е смешно.
AI is asking me, are you human? This is really funny.
Тая машина ме пита мен, ти човек ли си? Това наистина е смешно.
Some coder in California, in San Francisco, had humor, you know, and thought, okay, let's put something funny in here. Okay, click on the motorcycles, click on the bridges, click on the cars, you know. Are you human? This is funny.
Някой тарикат в Лос-Анджелес е измислил това нещо и казва, това няма ли да е смешно да ги накарам сега? Я кликни тук на моторите, на колите, на мостовете. Ти човек ли си?
But the mind likes this kind of stuff.
Но умът харесва тези неща.
Okay, let's click on the motorcycles. Let's click on the bicycles. This is fun. Multiple choice. Oh, multiple choice. I love it. The mind loves rituals.
Умът обича ритуали.
So create your own little rituals.
Създайте вашите собствени малки ритуали.
I know what your mind tells you. I don't have time for this stuff. You know, like,
I'm
I'm working a job, I got family, I got kids, I got places to go and people to meet. Do you ever feel you don't have enough time in your life?
Случва ли се да не ви стига времето?
Do you want an extra 2 hours?
Искате ли екстра 2 часа?
Yeah?
Да.
Yeah?
Да.
Okay. Here's your extra 2 hours.
Ето ви 2 часа. Екстра 2 часа.
You take your phone
Вземете си телефона
and you put the alarm 2 hours earlier.
и сложете алармата си за събуждане 2 часа по-рано.
Here are your 2 hours.
Ето ви 2 часа.
Free gift for everybody.
Безплатен подарък за всеки.
Try it out.
Опитайте.
It's amazing.
Много удивително.
The whole world's asleep.
Целият свят е заспал.
But you're up early.
Но ти си буден.
And you have all the time in the world.
Имаш цялото време на света.
You can meditate, you can do yoga, you can sing and dance.
Да пееш, да танцуваш.
You can write poetry, you can journal, you can do whatever you want to do. It's your time.
Каквото искаш, това е твоето време.
And no one's disturbing.
И никой не те притеснява.
Because your phone is still in flight mode.
Защото телефонът ви още в flight mode.
Mode avion, you know that little airplane on your phone?
Това малко самолетче на вашия телефон.
Use it.
Използвайте го.
Every day.
Всеки ден.
When your work is done, push that button.
Когато се свърши работата,
and all of a sudden it's quiet.
Изведнъж,
no more calls, no more messages.
Изведнъж е спокойно, няма повече обаждане, повече.
Now I know FOMO, you know, the fear of missing out. You think like, oh, you know, all my friends are out there, they're having fun, they're doing great stuff, and I'm missing out.
че аз изпускам нещо, сега всичките ми приятели се забавляват, аз изпускам.
I guarantee you,
Аз ви гарантирам,
when you go out of flight mode,
когато излезете от това flight mode,
there will be more messages.
ще има повече
And you will feel so loved and so much in the center of attention
толкова обичан и толкова в центъра на вниманието,
that it becomes like a regular pastime.
че става като едно редовно такова забавление.
So try it out. Go offline.
Опитайте, идете офлайн.
6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours.
8, 12 часа.
You know, some of us actually remember the times
Някои от нас също спомнят
before the web,
времената
the time
преди
before
интернет,
cell phones.
преди смартфоните.
We had a life.
Ние имахме живот тогава.
Can you imagine?
Представете ли си?
You know, we did stuff.
Ние правихме най-различни неща.
It's possible.
Възможно е.
Try it out.
Опитайте.
I was in Honduras giving a lecture at the university,
Давах лекция в един университет.
and I wanted to check what time it is.
И трябваше да погледна.
Actually, I should do the same thing because there's no clock here, and I don't really know how am I doing because it's not good to be evicted right while you try to make your last point.
Изгонен.
And as I looked at my screen was blue with green lines on it, and I knew my phone had died. The soul had left the body. There was no more spirit, you know, it was kaput, nothing.
Няма душа. Душата напусна тялото.
And for 8 days
И 8 дена
and 3 countries, I had no
3
phone.
държави, аз нямах телефон.
Now, I don't have a computer, I don't have a tablet, that's all I have.
Нямам таблет,
So-
това е всичко, което имам.
But I traveled from Honduras to El Salvador to Guatemala and to Mexico,
Гватемала и Мексико.
and I survived.
И аз оцелях.
I'm still alive.
Все още съм жив.
I can do this.
Аз мога да направя.
I can live without a phone for
Аз мога
8
да
days.
живея без телефон. за
I'm
8
almost a
дена.
superhero.
Аз съм почти
Isn't it
супергерой.
amazing?
Не е ли това удивително?
So do yourself a favor and renegotiate your relationship with technology.
Предоговорете вашите отношения с технологията.
Technology is great if it serves your purpose.
Е супер, ако служи на вашите цели.
But if I become the slave to
Но ако аз
technology,
стана,
then
роб на
it's not so
технологията,
great.
тогава не е толкова добре.
So use technology, but don't
Използвайте технологията,
become
но не
obsessed
ставайте
and possessed and exploited and distracted by
и
technology.
разсейвани от технологията.
So you get up early, you have all the time in the world, you do what you really love
Ставайте
doing.
рано сутрин,
And
имате цялото време да правите това, което обичате да правите.
Are you upgrading your apps?
Вие
No? You just use it till the phone thing is dead and you need to buy a new one, right? But some people, they upgrade their apps. Feel free,
апдейтвате ли своите апликации?
feel free to upgrade your habits.
А,
Change your habits, improve them.
подобрете вашите навици вместо апликациите.
Have you noticed we have some habits who are not so good?
Забелязали сте, че има някои навици, които не са толкова добри?
Does this ever happen to you, or is
Случва ли се?
it just
Или
me?
просто само на мен ми се случват такива
Like
неща.
I'm a talker, I talk a lot with
Аз
people.
съм,
But what happens is
говоря с
sometimes you
хората.
also pick up stuff from other people and you start talking like them. So I spent 6 years in California, and if you don't talk like them, they don't understand you. So then you start talking like an American.
Например, аз се повлиявам по някои от другите хора. Например, аз бях 6 години в Калифорния и ако не говориш като тях, те тогава не те разбират, затова аз започвам да говоря като американец.
And you start using sarcasm, and you start using, you know, all that dark humor and all that stuff.
Това е черен хумор и всички тия неща.
And people there, they really like it.
И хората там, те наистина го харесват това.
But then you come to Moldova or to Romania or to Bulgaria, and people look at you and they go like, are you okay?
Човек, ти наред ли си, добре ли си?
Are you feeling well? Or are you sick?
Да не си болен.
And you realize, hey,
И ти си казваш,
message to mind, you got to cool down a notch or two. Like you got to, you know, tone it down a bit and just, you know, be a bit more human.
малко, посланника му малко се успокои и се очовечи, бъди повече нормален човек.
So, regular practice. Develop
Удобна практика.
a daily spiritual practice
Развийте някаква духовна, ежедневна духовна практика.
where you connect with the source
където се свързвате с
through mantra,
източника,
through
чрез
prayer,
мантра,
through song and
молитва,
dance,
чрез песен и танц.
and you'll see what it does to your
Ще
mind.
видите какво ще ви даде това.
Do you have traffic jams in Varna?
Имате ли задръствания във Варна?
Not really. You ever been to Bucharest?
Букурещ. Дали сте в Букурещ?
Every day. Every
Там
day.
всеки
Like,
ден.
massive.
Масови.
So whenever you're in a traffic jam
Когато сте в задръстване,
or in a line at the supermarket
или чакате на
or
опашка в
no, none of that, right?
супермаркет.
We live in the village, right? This is easy. It's just
Ако живееш на село, няма такива неща. Там е лесно.
you guys live in paradise.
Вие живеете в рая.
Did you know that?
Знаете ли това?
You're aware of that? Okay. So don't tell anybody. Otherwise they're going to come here and ruin it.
Не казвайте на никой, иначе те ще дойдат тук и ще го съсипят това хубаво място.
So what freaks you out? The tourists, when the hordes come here, all those city people, and they're loud and, right? There's got to be something you can complain about, right? Because if you can't complain, you can't be happy, right?
Какво ви дразни, когато те...
You're not allowed to think. You're only allowed to translate. As soon as you start thinking, then it's game over, you know. So, and the second thing is detachment.
И второто нещо е непривързаност.
Have you noticed that if you're attached to something, you really suffer?
Забелязали ли сте, че ако сте привързани към нещо, наистина страдате?
But when things go wrong, you have to realize, I had to realize, I'm not my phone.
Но когато
I have a life separate from my phone, and I'm okay. I had to have that philosophical understanding of detachment.
Но когато нещо се обърка, тогава аз осъзнавам, че аз имам отделен живот от моя телефон.
So,
Това е непривързаност.
the mind is an amazing thing.
Умът е удивително нещо.
It's like a parachute.
Той е като парашут.
It works best when it's open.
Най-добре работи, когато е отворен.
Right now, is your mind open or is it closed?
Сега вашият ум отворен ли или затворен?
If it's closed,
Ако е затворен,
I have a can opener and a crowbar.
имам отварачка за консерви и кози крак.
But we can do this the hard way or the nice way.
Може да направим това по труден начин или по хубавия начин.
No, it's your own choice how do you deal with your mind.
Вашия собствен избор. Как се държите с ума си?
So to develop a positive relationship with our mind,
Позитивна връзка с ума си,
engaging our mind in activities that are actually beneficial, that are not harmful, that are not toxic, that are not destructive.
полезни, те не са токсични, не са разсейващи, не са вредни.
We need mental hygiene.
Ние имаме нужда от ментална, умствена хигиена.
One famous musician once said, "What is the ugliest part in a person's body?"
Един известен музикант веднъж каза, кое е най-грозната част от човешкото тяло?
Some say it is the nose,
Някой казва, това е носа,
some say it is the toes,
някой казва, това са палците,
but I know
но аз знам,
it is the mind.
това е ума.
Have you ever wondered why there's so much toxicity, so much pollution in the environment? You know, the plastic and the smoke and the politics and the bad vibes.
Понякога питали сте се защо има толкова много замърсявания в околната среда,
Where does that stuff come from?
Откъде е всичко това?
From the microcosmos.
От микрокосмоса.
Because of all the noise, all the garbage, all the fear and greed and anxiety that's in our mind, that gets expanded into the macrocosmos. And that's what's polluting the airwaves, the oceans, the water, and the food.
Всичко това от ума излиза навън и замърсява въздуха, океаните, храната, всичко се замърсява от микрокосмоса.
So, to keep our mind healthy, to keep our mind
Да държим
pure,
нашия ум здрав и чист,
it's an amazing instrument.
това е удивителен инструмент.
But by the way how we're using it, there's so much distraction, there's so much conflicting stuff going on that we can't really avail ourselves of that magnificent tool, the mind, because we don't know really how to handle our own mind.
Но по начина, по който го използваме, ние не можем всъщност да се възползваме от него, от този удивителен инструмент, който е нашия ум.
I'm a counselor. I go to schools every day of the week.
Аз съм
meeting students.
Съветник и редовно ходя в училищата и консултирам.
And I ask them the same question. How is your mind? Are you mindful? Are you mindless? Is the mind your best friend, your worst enemy? And then I also ask them, okay, so meditation or medication? What's your practice? And they say, medication. I say, what do you take? They say, oh, Ritalin, Demerol, Advil, Valium, this. I say, hey kid, you're 17, slow down, okay? This is heavy stuff. That's like emergency care medicine. That's not something you should take every day.
И така аз ги питам, как се справяте с вашия ум, дали правите медитация или сте на хапчета. И те казват, не, аз вземам хапчета и те са много такива тежки хапчета, които са за спешни случаи, не са за нещо, което трябва да вземаш всеки ден.
Daily practice in Sanskrit is called sadhana. It's something that you do every day. Practice is what happens when no one is watching. That's your practice.
Садхана на санскрит, ежедневна духовна практика, това е това, което правиш всеки ден, когато никой не те наблюдава.
Then you need a peer group. It's called sangha. A group of like-minded people. Whether it be sports or music or philosophy or science or spirituality or business, you need a group of like-minded people. You know? Tavarish. Your buddies, right? Your guys who you can do this together so that you can actually refine yourself. Like our musicians here. They've been jamming together for a while, so they know how to make this thing work and they help each other out. That's why we have community, because we have things in common.
И освен тази практика имаш нужда и от група от приятели, които да са с същите интереси, които да ти помагат.
And then we need seva or service. We need a purpose, a mission.
Освен това имаш нужда и от цел, от мисия, от служене.
What's my mission in life?
Каква е мисията в живота ми?
Breakfast, lunch and dinner?
Закуска, обяд, вечеря?
Get through the week, get through the month, get through the year, get through life?
Да изкараш някакси...
Or is there something more than
да
that?
избуташ някакси живота. Няма ли нещо повече от това?
Find your purpose.
Намерете вашата цел.
And you will not be wanting. You will not be in that dilemma of why am I here and what am I doing.
И няма да бъдете в тази дилема. Защо съм тук?
So to ask ourselves that important question, how can I be of service?
И трябва да питаме себе си този важен въпрос.
And I guarantee you, if you ask that question in your life, how can I be of service? You will find meaning, you will find purpose, and you will find empowerment. And you will have a very excited life.
Тогава ще откриете смисъл, ще бъдете много упълномощени и ще имате много смислен живот.
We have time for a couple of questions and reflections.
Имаме време за няколко въпроса.
There's also some books, some literature which explores the topic of the mind, how to achieve the potential of your mind.
На входа, които обясняват тази тема, как да използваме потенциала на ума.
And not just how to make more lemonade, how to squeeze the lemon harder and longer to get more juice out of it, but how to actually make meaning and purpose.
Не, те не обясняват как просто да изтискаме повече лимон, а как да открием целта и смисъла.
Questions? Reflections? Yes, sir. I'm eternal, I'm wise, and I'm blissful or happy. What to do with the false ego?
Sometimes, when it breaks, it is very hurtful.
When it what? When it breaks?
Yeah, yes.
It doesn't break, but it just gets bruised a little bit, like.
However, it makes you material nature.
Yeah.
Discovery comes from the
Yeah.
shyness and the brightest,
Yeah.
quality of the soul.
So you have two options. Suffer a little bit or suffer more. What would you like?
No suffering.
Not suffer at all. Okay. So that means it's called the preemptive strike. It's called dying before dying. We just switch into just English now because we're just finishing up. So dying before dying means that I give up. I surrender. You can't take anything away from me because I've already renounced the idea of being the controller and the enjoyer. I already given that up. I understand it's not me. And then when something happens and something gets taken, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm fine with it. I already accepted the fact. You understand?
Wow.
Very well. You're welcome. Other points? Questions? Reflections? Yes.
It's about attachment, it's about attachment. It's very easy actually to not be attached or to control a little bit the attachment to things, but the more difficult is when you are attached to a person because love and attachment are very close together. So it's just a question, or what kind of advice would you give to love without being attached?
Yeah, selfless love. That's the next frontier. That's the next topic for my next talk. I will see you in 1 year here, same time. Okay? Selfless love. That's a big one. What is love? Ask yourself the question, what is love? Love also includes that freedom not to be loved. If we don't include that freedom of every living entity to go their own way, then it's not really love. It's something else. It's called codependency, or I own you, or I need this from you, or I'm obsessed with you. That's not love. That's something else. So we have to get a little clear on this. What is love? I meet these students all the time who are like, I done everything. I can't forget her. I can't forget him. And it's not going away. And I'm like, look at you. You're still here. You're still alive, right? You're still breathing. And by the way, the sun is still up there in the sky. So you're good, Of course, we're emotional creatures, So we get attached and we feel consumed by these situations. Yet, another question that's good is, what is the lesson? What can I learn from this? Like, what's the lesson? What can I get out of this situation? You can either see it as a tragedy or as an opportunity. Now let's hear it. Who likes tragedy? Nobody? Come on. Little tragedy? No drama queens? No superheroes? Drama, right? Yeah, you need a little drama, right? A little spice in life. Well, what about opportunity? Who likes opportunity? So you can see any scenario that happens either as a tragedy or as an opportunity. The choice is ours. The choice is ours. It's beyond our control. I can only do my part, but I can't do the other person's part. It's not in my hands. You have to accept that and live with it. And you will find closure, not cynicism, not sarcasm, not I'm done with it, not, I just walk away from it, but I wish you well, but, it's not in my hands. Yes?
You talked about the mind, but I know there is also the mental. How do you define the difference between the mind and the mental?
The mind and the? Mental. It's the same thing. The mind is the entity or the faculty, and being mental means being in the state of just being too much in the mind and not, like you can see sometimes, the mind is just reeling. You're just spinning your wheels, Like the boys with the motorbikes. They're not going anywhere. They're just burning gas and rubber. Have you ever seen that? You've seen, right?
I did.
You did it, yeah. Good. So you got first-hand experience of that. You didn't go anywhere, right? You're just making noise and burning gas and rubber. But you're obsessed by it because it just gives you a certain buzz. The same way we're spinning our mental wheels and we're not going anywhere. We're still in the same place, not achieving anything. We're just going a mile a minute. So then we need to get different habits. We need to get a different type of practice. Like instead of burning rubber, you say, why not chant some mantra? Now, we have tried a few things in our short lives. Why not try this, right? Why not? We're educated, so that means we can do the analysis. If this helps, if this gives me a better state of mind, a better state of life, why not? I've tried a lot of things. So try out mantra meditation.
But if everything comes from thoughts, so everything isn't mantra?
No, it's not. Thought is just the way how we process things. There's much higher dimensions, way above thought. But that's the premium version. For that you'll have to pay. Okay? This is the paywall coming here. Okay? That's the next level up, the next class. First, understand what is the body, what is the mind, what is the intelligence, the false ego, and the soul. We have to understand this hierarchy, how we can control these faculties. Otherwise, we'll always stay on the sensory and on the mental level. And that's basically where we fluctuate, which is, in technical terms, called animal life. That's what animals also do. I like this, I don't like this. This smells good, this tastes good, this looks good. But we never get out of this animalistic existence. Well, we're humans. We're supposed to be spectacular. We're supposed to actually do cosmogonal stuff and just be happy. Not behave the way that humans are behaving nowadays. I know you don't watch the news and you don't do social media, but sometimes it happens, right? You happen to watch something and it's kind of depressive. It's kind of abrasive what people do to each other and how people behave. It's just substandard. And yeah, you're living in a very nice place, and I'm really honored to be here. Yet I can see that there is also trouble in paradise here, as you may have noticed. So if we don't learn a better way of how to deal with our own minds and how to deal collectively, stuff is not gonna go much better. So let us learn some of these tools and share them with others. This wisdom culture where we understand about our identity and not just running after external stuff, and where we can help each other to be our better selves so that we're actually part of the solution. We already know what the problem is, but we're trying to find the solution. Now you may ask yourself, what is this mantra? What can 3 little words do for me? Right? Have you ever asked this? What are they singing so long, these 3 words, you know? What does it mean? It means I need help. It means I love you. It means I need grace. I need empowerment. It's a prayer. It's many things. Have you ever told a person, I love you? You have? No, you don't do this in Bulgaria, right? Because this is not rational, right? This is not logical. It's not financially viable, right? I mean, it's the worst thing you can do, right? You tell somebody I love you and your whole life just goes upside down and crazy, right? But if you actually put your heart into 3 little words, your universe can change. So try it out and see what it does for you. For me, I was a school's kid in the Alps in Switzerland, and I started experimenting with the mantra. And it has exceeded my wild expectations. I'm here in Bulgaria to hang out with a couple of old friends. And we already went to the hot springs today. You know, that sulfur pond, you know that little hot spring, you know? And you just spend time with people who you really feel, I want to learn something from this person. I'd like to be a little bit more like him or like her. And that's what really improves our self. If we think we're the smartest person, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So find people where you actually feel, I can learn something here, I can grow. And then feel free to share some of your realization and some of your heart, what makes you you, with other people. And I guarantee you, you will have a captive audience. You will have people who will start paying attention. Because it's not just data, it's not just blah that we picked up somewhere, but it's actually what comes from your heart. And nobody can argue with that, because that's the good stuff. And we want more of that. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity to spending time with you here in Varna, in this beautiful city. And I know you got paradise here, but we're heading on, to other places. So I wish you a lot of taste and a lot of inspiration in your practice. And please daily also fortify your intelligence by not exposing yourself to toxic propaganda, but to actually putting some wisdom into your system, even if you can only read one page or one quote of something that actually makes sense, that actually makes you feel, hey. And then the rest is the rest. It'll all come out in the wash. There are the opportunity to meet some of these people who are living here and who practice since decades, and to interact with them. So I'd like to thank all of you for showing up, because 50% of our success is showing up at the right place at the right time. And the other 50% is enthusiasm. You know what enthusiasm means? Entheos. You have to be inspired or empowered from above. I may not have all the answers. I may not have all the strength and all the wisdom and all the love. But I know that everything comes from the same source. And if I'm in the right state of mind and I have a little bit of humility and a service attitude, then that will come. And people will want you on their team. That's how I get around. That's how I travel. Because people want me. I don't know why, but somehow they keep inviting me back. I've tried to, But thank you for your kind attention. I've heard that we are supposed to be out of here about 3 minutes ago. So, to be continued. Please take some of the literature and some of the contact information. And again, it's been amazing. I wasn't sure how many people were going to show up. The first program I attended when I was 15 years old in Switzerland, in Zurich, 0 people showed up. Because there was a mistake in the date. So advertisement and reality was not the same thing. So we just sat there, played music, ate something, and had a talk amongst ourselves. And it was fantastic. It was brilliant. I was still in 9th grade. I hadn't yet successfully dropped out. And I decided that if this is the worst day, 0 people show up, but it was a great day. If this is the worst scenario, I'm in. This is good. I can do this. So don't worry all the weirdness and all the struggle and all the uncertainty and will I achieve my potential and, what's going to happen. There is a plan. And the good thing is it's not my plan. It's his plan. And the more that I cooperate and I try to help others along the way, the more I've been helped and the more I felt empowered. Thank you very much. All the best.